Good night, teacher. This is my final project. I choose the company Bacardi Mexico. Company name Bacardi Mexico. 1862. It all begins with a dream. Bacardi was founded on February 4th by Don Facundo Bacardi Mazo in Santiago de Cuba, when he bought a small distillery and transformed the rum making process to create a smooth, light-bodied spirit what the world now knows as Bacardi rum. Doña Amalia, Facundo's wife, saw a colony of bats hanging in the rafter of the distillery and recognized their importance to the Spanish and Cuba Taino Indians as symbols of good health, family unity, and good fortune. So she suggested adopting the bat as the symbol of Bacardi rum. As soon the locals began to ask for the rum of the bat. Facundo Bacardi Moreau, son of Mr. Facundo, plants a coconut tree in front of the new distillery, affectionately known as El Coco. The palm became a symbol for the Bacardi family and company. It withstood a distillery fire, 5 earthquakes, and countless hurricanes. The coconut symbolized the strength and endurance of the Bacardi Company. Finally, a local prophecy grows around the palm tree. The Bacardi Company will survive in Cuba as long as the coconut tree lives. So, import and export. The Bad Company in Mexico produces rum and tequila with the purchase of cazadores and patron. 65% of the rum production is consumed in the Mexican market and the rest is exported to North America and Latin America. Principal product: tequila Cazadores extra abejo 100%. Tequila Cazadores reposado 100% agave. Bacardi rum different flavors 1 liter. Country of destination: United States, France, and Canada. Tariff item numbers: tequila 22 08 19 03. Tariff item number rum 22 08 40 02 01. Unit of measurement: liters. Business activities: Bacardi is an alcoholic beverage company founded in Santiago de Cuba in 1862 by Spaniards Facundo Bacardi Mazo. The company's international headquarters are in Puerto Rico, but also has offices in Mexico, Miami, and Bermudas. Bacardi ranks 11th in the ranking of the most valuable brands in Latin America, prepared by Brand Finance, with a brand value of $3,138,000,000 in Mexico, according to data provided by the brand. It is the most consumed in its segment. The brand has been in the Mexican market for 80 years, where it set up its first factory outside Cuba in 1930 on Cedro Street, which was known as El Paseo de la Cuba Libre because the Coca-Cola factory was across the street. Since 1861, the company's factory has been in Tultitlán in the state of Mexico. The building is known by the people of the surrounding neighborhoods for the large green area, which is almost like a park. It is also as architectural jewel. To continue production process. 1. Fermentation. Molasses arrives via tanker trucks and is pumped to this area where it is poured into huge metal drums. Water and yeast are added. The latter metabolizes is the sugar in the molasses into alcohol, generating in the process heat, CO2, and the resulting product fermented molasses. Then, distillery. Two different rum bases are created, aguardiente and redistilled. The fermented molasses flows through metal plates at around 93 centigrades. The alcohol evaporates and separates from the molasses by rising to the top. Then the vapor passes to the condenser, cooling it back to a liquid state and is sent to a storage tank. The difference between spirit and redistillate is that the latter is distilled several times. Then, filling or of barrels. The barrels are filled with rum bases, filtered drugs, Bacardi's own carbon filtration systems. Again, it is left to age in wooden barrels in the cellars, which will change the rum's odors and tonalities. Then, blending. The task of the master blender is smelling the rums to differentiate them drugs, samples and blending them to produce the specific Bacardi rum. Diluting the alcohol, budding, labeling, and packaging. The rum is diluted in the Florida plant with filtered water. 1 part water to 1 part rum to 40% alcohol. Then the rum is bottled in glass bottles, labeled and packaged by a series of machines under human supervision and shipped for distribution and sale. Then sugarcane plantations and molasses. What are they? From the perspective of process management in the Bacardi rum production process, the sugarcane plantations and the product resulting from their processing molasses are considered in the framework of the process as process inputs. Then, the molasses fermentation tanks. Target value and control indicator limit in the molasses fermentations tanks target value. Temperature between 31 and 35 Celsius of the tanks. Limit value a minimum of 31 centigrades and a maximum of 35 centigrades. Then, the quantities of distilled molasses produced per day, if the process is carried out correctly, it can produce 1.9 millions of the substances. So, fermented molasses control process test. What does this consist of? A sample of fermented molasses is collected and taken to the laboratory where it is boiled. This causes the alcohol to evaporate and the gases to rise to the top. Then it goes down through a condenser where it cools down and becomes the distillate. This process checks the amount of alcohol in the molasses. If the distillate has a lot of alcohol, the molasses will also have a lot of alcohol and vice versa. The result is a base rum with 75% alcohol, and if it has the right percentage of alcohol, it goes to the next stage. So, the control laboratory that carries it out What is the from a process management perspective? It is an operational process as it controls that the product is in optimal conditions to move on the next stage. Alcohol then alcohol level in the fermentation process. What is the from a process management perspective? Is there any difference if we analyze it from the perspective of the fermentation process and the Bacardi rum production process? It is an output indicator of the fermentation process that tells if it is generating this necessary alcohol. But from the rum production points of view, it is a process indicator because it is an intermediate activity in the rum creation process. Then, limit and target value of the indicator for the product resulting from the various distillation stage. This redistillation. Target value between 75 and 9 90. Target value between 75 and 95% alcohol. Limit value 75, 80, 95. Then, task master blender Yu Gomez. He has two tasks. Identify the batch to be blended by testing them by smell and taste, blending the different rooms according to the family formula. The secret to ensure that the rum bottles have the exact profile of a specific Bacardi rum. Then, the final Bacardi rum products purchased is the result of there are two rum bases, aguardiente and redistillate. So it goes through a 5-stage distillation process. Then, inside the distillery, the hot distillate molasses flows drop metal plates at around 93 centigrades. The alcohol turns to vapor, which is separated from the distillate and rises to the top of the distillery at around 93 centigrades. The alcohol is converted into vapor, which is separated from the distillate and rises to the top of the distillery, to the top. The vapor passes into the condenser and is converted into a strong liquid, which flows down to the bottom of the system and is then down to the bottom of the system and is sent to a storage tank. Spirit base. It result is in a 75% alcohol solution. Then, the same process as above but repeated 5 times, which purifies it and converts it into a high percentage alcohol. Into a high percentage alcohol because of its multiple steps. This base is called a redistillate. Distillate several times. The result is a 95% solutions. Again, process. Examples of process indicators. What type of indicators are there? Are they? There are output indicators such as the color, flavor, and aroma of the rums that are interpreted by the blender. And due to their difficult mathematical quantifications, a person oversees their evaluation through taste, smell, and sight. Thank you.